Good morning. So let's start the daily current affair discussion. The first topic, the Foucault pendulum swing inside the new parliament. One of the features of the new parliament building in New Delhi, ranked by May 28th, is a Foucault pendulum suspended from its constitutional gallery area. It has been designed and installed by the National Council of Science Museum, Kolkata. The pendulum hangs from a skylight at the top of the Constitution Hall and signifies the integration of the idea of India with the idea of the cosmos. Created by the National Science Council for Science Museum in Kolkata, the pendulum is being dubbed as the largest such piece in India, 32 meter in height and weighing a staggering 35 kg. On the ground, a circular installation has been created to allow the pendulum's movement with a shut grill around it, allowing the visitor to stand around at the latitude of the parliament. It takes 49 hours, 59 minutes and 18 seconds for the pendulum to complete one rotation, as per the details displayed at the installation. What this is? What is a Foucault's pendulum? The original Foucault's pendulum, named after the 19th century French scientist Leon Foucault, is a simple experiment to demonstrate Earth rotation. When Foucault carried out this experiment for the public in 1851, the first direct visual evidence of the fact that Earth rotates on its axis. The experimental setup involves a heavy object hung from a height with a string free to swing in any direction. One set. Okay, so okay, actually it is not. So the experimental setup involves a heavy object hung from the height with a string free to swing in any direction. One set in to and fro motion. The pendulum is seen to change its orientation slowly over time. For example, if the initial motion imparted to it was in the north-south direction, after the few hours it would be seen moving in the east-west direction. Actually, it is not the pendulum that changes its place of motion, but the ground beneath. The observers standing on the ground do not notice the earth rotation because they too are rotating with the earth, but can notice the change in orientation of the pendulum. So earth rotates and this pendulum manifests the rotation of the earth. At the north and the south pole, when the pendulum is aligned with the axis of rotation of the earth, the pendulum's back and forth movement comes back to its original plane in exactly 24 hours. That is, if it starts swinging in the north-south direction, then it slowly turns in the northeast-southwest direction. Then in the east-west direction, it keeps up changing its orientation till it is back in its original orientation after 24 hours. All other latitudes, it takes longer for the pendulum to return to its original orientation of swinging. That is because the pendulum is not aligned with the axis of rotation of the Earth. At the equator, the pendulum is perpendicular to the axis of the rotation, and hence it never changes its orientation of the swing. Meaning, a Foucault's pendulum at the equator could not show any deviation from its original course. At other latitude, it will and would return to the original course after fixed time period. After one rotation, that takes that time, as I told in the beginning. The Foucault's pendulum is a standard fixture in any science museum across the world, meant to be an educational tool for children to learn about the rotation of the earth. So if the pendulum is installed at the North Pole, the pendulum will basically be swinging and the Earth rotates below. But someone standing on the Earth's surface does not notice the planet's rotation without, example, looking up at the sky from time to time. Instead to them, the plane of the swing will seem to rotate by a full circle at the Earth, complete one rotation. Okay, this is a very peculiar pendulum. Okay, if the pendulum is installed over the equator, the plane would not appear to shift all at all because it will be rotating along with the earth. On any other latitude, the plane will shift through 360 degree in one sidereal day divided by the sine of the latitude to its location. A Foucault's pendulum is not a simple matter of setting up a pendulum with large part. It must be designed, installed, and set swing in such a way that the above motion is influenced to the extent possible only by gravity. In 1991, the then Inter-University Center of Astronomy and Astrophysics, Pune, commissioned the country's first Foucault pendulum for public display from the their own premises. Okay. After several studies and field tests, the NSCM installed the setup in 1993. The NCSM subsequently installed another Foucault pendulum in the Queensland Science Museum in Brisbane, okay, Australia. Fine. So then the next is, so India seek reduction in the stunting but wasting obesity are concerned. An interagency team, the UNICEF and WHO and the World Bank have released the Joint Child Malnutrition Estimate report for 2022. Key highlights of the JME report 2020: child stunting refers to a child who is too short for his or her age and is the result of the chronic or recurrent malnutrition. Globally, stunting declined from a prevalence rate of 26.3% in 2012 to 22.3% in 2022. It continued to show a reduction in stunting and recorded 1.64 few stunted children under 5 years in 2022 as compared to 2012. Stunting among children under 5 years dropped from a prevalence rate of 41.6% in 2012 to 31.7% in 2022. So from 41.6 to 31.7, there is a drastic fall in the stunting rate. Wasting, child wasting refers to child who is too thin for his or her height and is the result of recent rapid weight loss or the failure to gain weight. The overall prevalence of wasting in 2022 was 18.7% in India. India contributes 49% of the global burden of wasting. In India, two-thirds of the children at 12 to 25 months are wasting at birth or at 1 month of age. This means two-thirds of the wasting is caused by maternal malnutrition because the mother is unable to take proper diet, so the child is facing malnutrition. Overweight, childhood overweight occurs when children caloric intake from food and beverage exceed their energy requirement. So one side is wasting and your or malnutrition. Second is overweight. Childhood overweight occurs when children's caloric intake from food and beverage exceed their energy requirement. There are now 37 million children under the 5 living with overweight globally, an increase of nearly 4 million since 2000. India had an overweight percentage of 2.8% in 2022 compared to 2.2% in 2012. So in this case, India has a comparatively less figure. Comments on India. Going by the JEM data, UNICEF concludes that India has shown promising progress when it comes to stunting. According to UNICEF India officials, multi-sectoral responses under Poshan Abhiyan in 2018 and continued Poshan 2.0 in 2022 seem to be contributing to the positive shift in the indicators. About joint child malnutrition estimate report, the JEM is an annual report. Okay, joint malnutrition child malnutrition estimate JEM. Okay, Joint Child Malnutrition Estimate is an annual report published by the UNICEF, WHO, and the World Bank. The report covers measures of child malnutrition used to track progress towards the child nutrition targets of Sustainable Development Goal 2. The report covers child stunting, overweight, underweight, wasting, and severe wasting. JM released in 2023 revealed insufficient progress to reach the 2025 World Health Assembly Global Nutrition Target and the UN mandated Sustainable Development Goal Target 2.2. Only about a third of all countries are on track to have the number of children affected by stunting by 2030. All forms of malnutrition are preventable. To stop malnutrition before it starts, children and their family needs access to nutritious diets, essential services, and positive practices to set them on the path to survive and thrive. Fine. Okay. So, but today these vital pathways go good nutrition are under growing threat as many countries plunge deep into the global food and nutrition crisis fueled by poverty, conflict, climate change, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay. So all form of malnutrition are preventable. To stop malnutrition before it starts, children and their family needs access to nutritious diets, essential services, and positive practices to set them on the path to survival and thrive. But today, these vital pathways to good nutrition are under growing threat as many countries plunge deep into the global food and nutrition crisis fueled by poverty, conflict, climate change, and COVID-19 pandemic. As the world responds to the crisis, urgent action is critical to protect maternal and child nutrition, especially in the most affected regions, and secure a future where the right to nutrition is a reality for every child. So, nutrition is preventable, malnutrition is preventable. So, every child has a right, and we should take step to check the malnutrition, stunting, and so check also overweight of the children. India's new parliament, the 70th years of independence, PM Modi inaugurated the new parliament building and installed the Sengol near Lok Sabha Speaker's chair. 19 opposition parties boycotted the inauguration event, accusing the central government of sidelining President Draupadi Murmu, the country's first tribal head of the state. Old Parliament building at the coronation of George V as Emperor of India on December 12, 1911, the monarch decided to transfer the seat of government of India from Kolkata to ancient capital of Delhi. In 1913, Edwin Lutyens and Herbert Baker signed onto the architect of the imperial city at New Delhi. Initially, they were asked to design President's House and the northern south block only. In 1919, the British Parliament passed the Government of India which provided for a bicameral legislature for India. Okay, the Parliament building construction took 6 years and at 86 lakhs then from 1921 to 1927, and its circular shape is believed to be inspired by the Chausat Yogin temple, okay, in Mitawali village in Madhya Pradesh, Morena district. In 1919, the plan of the construction of the parliament was decided to have a council house comprising legislative assembly chamber, which later became the Lok Sabha, council of state chamber, which is now the Rajya Sabha, and the chamber of princes, later became the library hall. The goal of the architecture was to project the strength of British imperialism and rule over India. Hence, both the architects agreed to highlight the superiority of the European classicism upon which Indian tradition had to be based. The foundation of the existing parliament was laid by the Duke of Connaught in February 12th, 1921. It was inaugurated in 1927, January 1927, by the then Governor General of India, Lord Ewing. Sri Bhupendra Nath Mitra, a member of the Governor's General's Council, Executive Council, and in charge of the Department of Industry and Labour, invited Viceroy to inaugurate the building. Fine. Viceroy Lord Irwin inaugurated the building of the parliament in 1927. Now the building will not be demolished and will be converted into the Museum of Democracy after the new Parliament House become operational. New Parliament building in 2019, the central government announced the redevelopment project to give a new identity to the power corridor of India. This project is known as the Central Vista Redevelopment Project. The plan includes the construction of a new parliament, prime ministers and vice president residence, along with 10 buildings block that will accommodate all government ministry and departments. Piloted by the Minister of Housing and Urban Affairs, the plan aims to change the face of the Lutyens Delhi. Lutyens Delhi show of India's iconic buildings such as the South and the North Block and the Central Secretariat, Parliament House and the Rashtrapati Bhavan. The design by the Ahmedabad-based HCP Design, Planning and Management under architect Bimal Patel and has been built by the Tata Projects Limited. So Tata Project has taken up the project to build this magnificent building for India. So main features of the new building: built up area about 60,000 square meter, triangular in shape, and incorporated architectural styles from around India. The new Lok Sabha hall with a capacity of up to 888 seats, and Rajya Sabha with a capacity of up to 384 seats. The Lok Sabha may accommodate up to 1272 seats for joint sessions of the parliament. The Lok Sabha hall is based on the peacock theme, India's national bird. Rajya Sabha is based on the lotus theme, India's national flower. The platinum rated green building, the new Sansad will embody India's commitment towards environmental sustainability. The new parliament is Divyang friendly, where people with disability will be able to move around freely. A state-of-the-art constitutional hall symbolically and physically put the Indian citizen at the heart of our democracy. A central lawn that will complement the open courtyard with a banyan and national tree will be a place for members to interact with each other. Ultra-modern state-of-the-art features like the digital voting system, well-energized acoustics and audio-visual system in the two chambers. Mural depicting maps of ancient India, protected monuments of ASI and UNESCO, etc. on display. Three ceremonial entrance hall with huge brass image of Mahatma Gandhi, Chanakya, Gargi, Sardar Patel, B.R. Ambedkar, and chariot wheel from Sun Temple at Konark are on display, reflecting the cultural diversity of India in line with the Make in India initiative. Tripura's epitome bamboo wood flooring and carpet from UP's Mirzapur embellish the new parliament. Okay, so a touch of all India uh, fame in the hall. Need for the new parliament building. Current building is 96 year old as per the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. The current building is 96 year old and possesses structural safety concern. Narrow sitting space for MP. The present building has never designed to accommodate a bicameral legislature for a full-fledged democracy. The number of Lok Sabha seats is likely to increase significantly from the current 544 by 2026 at the bridge on the total number of seats lifts. The central hall has seating capacity only for 440 persons. When the joint sessions are held, the problem limited seat amplifies. Distressed infrastructure, the addition of services like water supply and sewage line, firefighting equipment, CCTV camera, etc. have led to seepage of water at several places in the old building. So fire safety is a major concern in the building. Obstacle communication structure, communication infrastructure and technologies and antiquated in the existing parliament, and the acoustics of all the halls need improvement. Safety concept: the current parliament building was built when Delhi was in seismic zone. Okay, the country in its seismic zone 4. This raises structural safety concern. So the new building has the safety concern fulfilling the seismic zone 4 capacity. Fine. Then external audio auditor of the WHO. The C and AG of India, Girish Chandra Murmu, has been re-elected as the external auditor of the World Health Organization for a 4-year term from 24 to 2027. The CAG is already holding this position of WHO since 2019 for a 4-year term from 2019 to 2023. Election was held in the 76th World Health Assembly in Geneva. The CNAG was re-elected with a overwhelming majority of 114 out of the 156 votes in the first round of voting. After the election, in their address to the WHO Assembly, the Murmu outlined his vision as an external auditor for the WHO while emphasizing the process improvement for better outcomes, transparency, and a professional approach. This is the second major international audit assignment for the CAG this year, following his election to the post of external auditor of the International Labour Organization. earlier in March this year. So external audit of WHO, external audit of the ILO. Okay. Then the next is a very interesting Chandrayaan 3 mission. Indian Space Research Organization Chairman S. Somanath today said that Chandrayaan 3 will be launched in July this year. The failure of Chandrayaan 2, the partial failure, the partial success of Chandrayaan to has led the government to think of the Chandrayaan 3, and ISRO has been given the responsibility of again going for the Chandrayaan 3 mission. The Indian Space Organization it made these remarks after the successful launch of the second generation navigation satellite NSV-01 from Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh. Chandrayaan 3 is a follow-on mission. Uh, હું ટીકે ક્લાસ રેકોર્ડ બેક કર્યું 1:30 ટાઈમ ક્લાસ તો છે. Okay, so Chandrayaan 3 is a follow-on mission. Chandrayaan 2 to demonstrate end-to-end capability in safe landing and roving on the moon. It consists of an indigenous lander module, a propulsion module, and a rover. The lander and the rover will have scientific payloads to carry out experiment on the lunar surface. But Chandrayaan 3 mission, Chandrayaan 3 is India's third moon mission and is a follow-up to Chandrayaan 2 in July 2019, which aimed to land a rover on the lunar south pole. The subsequent failure of the Vikram lander led to the pursuit of another mission to demonstrate the landing capability needed for the lunar polar exploration mission. Okay, so the mission will have three major modules: the propulsion module, lander module, and the rover. The propulsion module will carry the lander and the rover configuration till 100 kilometer lunar orbit. The lander will have the capability to soft land at a specified lunar site and deploy the rover, which will carry out in situ chemical analysis of the lunar surface during the course of its mobility. But the last time the failure was of the lander, because the lander was unable to land the rover properly. So in case of a soft landing, it resulted in a hard crash landing. That was the major reason for the failure of the mission. Fine. Then the lander will have the capability to soft land at a specified lunar site and deploy the rover, which will carry out the in situ chemical analysis of the lunar surface during the course of its mobility. The Central Vigilance Commissioner, the Vigilance Commissioner Praveen Kumar Srivastava was sworn in by the President Draupadi Murmu as the Central Vigilance Commissioner of India. Since December last year, Mr. Srivastava has been working as the Acting Vigilance Commissioner, okay, Acting Central Vigilance Commissioner, following the completion of the predecessor Suresh and Patel's tenure. The 1988 batch Indian Administrative Service Officer, Assam Meghalaya cadre, has retired as Secretary Coordination Cabinet Secretary in January 31st, 2022. About the Central Vigilance Commission, the CBC set up by the government in February 1964 on the recommendation of the Santanam Committee. Okay, so that Committee on Prevention of Corruption by the K. Santanam. In 2003, the Parliament enacted the CBC Act, confers statutory status on the CBC. The CBC is not controlled by any minister department. They are an independent body which is only responsible to the Parliament, not to any ministry. It is not an investigating agency. The CBC either get the investigation done through the CBI or through chief vigilance officers in government offices. It is empowered to inquire into the offence alleged to have been committed under the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988 by certain category of public servants. It is a multi-member commission consisting of a central vigilance commission and not more than two vigilance commissions are as members. The Central Vigilance Commission and the Vigilance Commissioners are appointed by the President on the recommendation of the committee consisting of the Prime Minister, the Minister of Home Affairs, and the Leader of Opposition in the House, in the people. Okay, House of the People of Lok Sabha. The term of the office of the Central Vigilance Commissioner and the Vigilance Commissioners is 4 years from the date on which they enter their office or they will attain the age of 65, whichever is earlier. Either it be a 4 year or 65 years of age, which is earlier, will be the tenure of the person of the Vigilance Commissioner, okay, Central Vigilance Commissioner. Then the next is the One District One Product initiative. The Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports is presenting Hello India University Games winner with the One District One Product gift. About the One District One Product initiative, it was launched by the Minister of Food Processing Industry in 2018. Objective is to help district reach their full potential, foster economic and socio-cultural growth, and create employment opportunity, especially in rural areas. The initiative aims to select, brand, and promote at least one product of each district of the country for enabling holistic socio-economic growth across all regions. The One District One Product initiative aims to turn every district in India into an export hub through promotion of product in which the district specializes. The initiative plans to accomplish this by scaling manufacturing, supporting local business, finding potential foreign custom, customers, and so on, thus helping to achieve the Atmanirbhar Bharat vision. The ODOP initiative has identified a total of 1102 products from 6761 districts across the country. This initiative is carried out with the district as export hub initiative by the Director General of Foreign Trade Department of Commerce. Under the One District One Product initiative, all products have been selected by the state union territory by taking into consideration the existing ecosystem on the ground. Product identified under the district of export hub and GI tag products. The finalized list is communicated to the Department of for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, okay, by the relevant department of the state and union territories. All activities including okay, so that under this all activity including exhibition, capacity building, etc., undertaken by the state union territory and district level in consultation with the coordination with the state and union territory. Okay, so then Moghar housing scheme of Odisha. In a major relief to economical and social weaker household, Navin Patnaik government on May 29th announced the launch of Moghar, My House, to provide credit-linked financial assistance to beneficiaries who face fund crunch to complete or upgrade their houses. The state cabinet, chaired by the Odisha Chief Minister, gave its consent to the credit linked housing scheme, which is fully funded from the state budget. The application for availing loan will open from June 15, 2023. The scheme will cover all such families who were left out in the existing housing schemes either due to stringent eligibility criteria or insufficient allocation, and those who had received housing assistance of smaller amount in the past and now want to upgrade or expand their houses. Under the scheme, beneficiary can avail housing loan up to 3 lakhs, which can be paid in 10 years, excluding 1 year moratorium period in each installment. They can offer one of the four slabs of the loan amount: 1 lakh, 1.5 lakhs, 2 lakhs, and 3 lakhs. The family which is staying in the kacha thatched house or on pakka room which concrete roof would be eligible for the loan. Those having monthly income below 25,000 who have availed housing assistance of 70,000 or below in the past will be considered for the loan under the Mo Ghar scheme. The state government will release capital subsidy on the loan account to the beneficiary on completion of the house. Enhanced capital subsidy will be available to vulnerable categories, scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, or family led by the persons living with disability. The state government would pay highest 6,000 subsidy for 3 lakh loan slab, while vulnerable group would get subsidy of 70,000. Bank have been asked not to charge any processing fee from the beneficiary for sanction of the loan. In order to further reduce the financial burden on beneficiary, the registration fee and that stamp duty required like during mortgage title did have been waived. Okay. Uh, Waived up by the state government. The Nabin Patnaik government has earlier promised to boycott all left out kacha houses into Pakka one. Housing for rural houses remained a key pull plank for political parties. Odisha government is now implementing Biju Pakka Ghar Yojana in addition to the center's Prime Minister's Awas Yojana Grameen. Fine. So already there is a central government has a more that has a Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. The state government has a Biju Pakka Ghar Yojana. Okay, and apart from that, so this more Gara scheme has been launched, okay, for by the state government for providing additional housing benefit to the people in the state. Okay, then coming to the question, discuss the key features of the FAME, faster adoption and manufacturing electric vehicles scheme, and its impact on the growth of the electric vehicle market in India. The FAME, faster adoption and manufacturing of hybrid electric vehicle India scheme is government initiative launched in 2015 to promote the adoption and manufacturing of electric and hybrid vehicles in the country. It aims to reduce vehicular pollution, reduce dependence on fossil fuel, and promote the use of indigenous technology for the manufacturing of electric vehicles. Fine. So this is the objective with which this program has been launched by the central government of India. The financial incentive, okay, the scheme has undergone several updates and revised since its launch, including the recent FAME 2 phase having the key features like financial incentive, subsidy are provided based on the battery capacity of the vehicle. Higher subsidy are offered for electric vehicles with larger battery capacity, encouraging the adoption of vehicles with larger range and greater efficiency. Charging infrastructure development, FAME 2 provides financial support for the establishment of charging stations, including both slow charging and fast charging facilities. The scheme encourages the setting up of charging infrastructure in public space, residential complex, workplace, and other suitable locations to enhance the accessibility and convenience of charging for electric vehicle owners. The demand aggregation, it promotes demand aggregation on drive to drive economy of cell and reduce the cost of electric vehicles. It encourages government organization, public transportation agencies, and fleet operators to adopt electric vehicle in bulk. Pilots project and demonstrations, it shows the feasibility and benefits of electric vehicle in different sectors and regions. These projects help generate awareness. Okay, so the pilot project demonstration showcase the feasibility and benefit of electric vehicle in different sectors and regions. These projects help generate awareness, build confidence among consumers, and gather data on the performance and viability of electric vehicles in various use cases. The insight gained from such initiative inform policy decisions and further promote electric vehicle adoption. Skill development and training, it emphasizes skill development and training program for technicians, engineers, and other professionals involved with the electric vehicle ecosystem. Research and development support, it encourages innovation and indigenous development of electric vehicle technology. The features of this FAME scheme work together to create a supportive ecosystem for electric vehicle in India. Because to fulfill our that Paris Climate Agreement and the further net zero emission standard. So India is promoting the use of this electric vehicles, and to encourage people to go for this, government is incentivizing the purchase of electric vehicles to the consumers as well as providing the charging station benefit to the persons who will, or the agencies who will create this. Impact of the FAME scheme on the growth of electric vehicle market. Increase in electric vehicle sale. According to the Society for Manufacturing Electric Vehicles, the sale of electric vehicles in India grew by 37% in the fiscal year 2021. With this growth can be attributed to the incentive and subsidy provided under the FAME scheme. Expansion of charging infrastructure under FAME 2. Government has sanctioned the installation of 2636 charging stations across city to cities in India. Adoption in public transport. Bangalore Metropolitan Transport Corporation introduced electric buses under the FAME scheme, reducing pollution level and providing sustainable transport solutions. Promotion of e-rickshaw and e-cycle as a means of last mile connectivity and short distance transportation. These have not only provided livelihood opportunity for many individuals but have also reduce pollution level. In Delhi, for example, the FAME scheme contributed to the adoption of the over 1 lakh e-rickshaw, was positively impacting air quality in the capital city. So, technological advancement, it has incentivized research and development activities leading to improvement in battery technology, range and performance of electric vehicles. For example, Ola Electric, an Indian electric mobility company, introduced the Ola electric scooter with a removable battery pack, providing convenience and ease of use. Domestic manufacturing of electric vehicles. For example, Tata Motor launched the Tata Nexon EV and all electric SUV manufactured in India, which have gained popularity among the consumers. Then challenges as to the EV FAME scheme. High initial cost. Electric vehicles typically have a higher upfront cost compared to conventional vehicles. This higher cost acts as a deterrent for price sensitive consumers, limiting the adoption of electric vehicles. Limited charging infrastructure, it hampers the widespread adoption of electric vehicles as consumers may fear being stranded with no charging option. Range anxiety. This range limitation makes potential buyer hesitant to opt for electric vehicles, particularly for intercity or long distance travel because the issue of charging it. Battery technology and cost. Lithium ion battery, commonly called the electric vehicles, contribute to a significant portion of the vehicle cost, which itself is a costlier part of the EV. Limited domestic manufacturing. India relies on import of this large portion of the lithium-ion battery used in electric vehicles. This reliance on import hampers the development of the robust domestic manufacturing ecosystem and can impact the cost of competitiveness of electric vehicles. Because we have to import the lithium-ion battery, so the cost is higher and that is a deterrent to the customers to go for this vehicle. Addressing these challenges is crucial to accelerate the adoption of the electric vehicle in India and ensure the long-term success of the FAME scheme. Recently, the government announced that slashing of the subsidy for the electric two-wheelers segment, a step which might drag India's EV revolution. A gradual transition with sustained subsidy would have been ideal to ensure market growth and reach the international benchmark of 20% EV adoption. Production link incentive scheme is automatic, automobile in automobiles and battery cell can also help in bringing enhanced investment and cutting cost for the manufacturers. If these are promoted, so the EV cell will definitely grow in the country and the will be fulfilling our target towards going for a easy and environment friendly transport system. Then the coming to the question, the AUS Congressional Committee recently recommended strengthening NATO Plus by including India in the five-member grouping. Currently, which one of the following countries is not member of the NATO Plus group? So Ukraine is not a member of the NATO Plus group. A person in the US recently died from the rare Ocean virus, making the first fatal case in US this year. Consider the following statement regarding the Ocean virus disease. It is a rare yet often serious disease that is spread by bite of the mosquito. There is no medication to prevent the Ocean virus infection. So here only two is correct, but there is no medication. Medication is available. Okay. Then consider the following statement regarding the Cytridomacosis. It is an infection disease that affect amphibian worldwide. It is caused by the fungus. So here both are correct. Then consider the following statement with reference to the one district one product. The launched by the Union Minister of Commerce and Industry. So Commerce and Industry Ministry has not launched it. It aims to turn every district in India into an export hub through promotion of the product in which the district specializes. So two is correct. Then rice fortification is a cost-effective and complementary strategy to increase the vitamin and mineral content. Okay. Anemia is a problem of not having enough healthy red food, blood cells, or hemoglobin to carry oxygen to the body tissue. Here both are correct. Consider the following statement regarding the uh, Jugalbandi. It is an AI-driven chatbot called Jugalbandi. The chatbot is being developed by Microsoft, right? So the chatbot will operate over the WhatsApp messaging services. All the three are correct. But the following statement regarding supercomputer. The International Supercomputing Conference was held in Germany. The AI supercomputing Airworth, situated at the CDAC Pune, ranking 75th on the global supercomputer list. That is also right. Indigenously developed Aryabhat in India. That is also right. Okay. What is the following statement regarding the diatom? It is a photosynthetic multi-cell organism. Okay, so it is incorrect. Okay, they are found in almost every aquatic environment, including fresh and marine waters. So this is correct. So two is correct, but one is incorrect. Recently, Odisha government launched the Mo Ghar, My House scheme. Under the scheme, beneficiary can avail housing loan up to 3 lakhs, which can be paid in 10 years. Odisha CM gave its consent to credit linked housing scheme, which is fully funded from the state government. So this is also uh, correct. The scheme will cover all such families who are left out of the existing housing scheme. So that is also correct. All the three are correct. Recently, the Great Himalayan National Park. So next question. So the Great Himalayan National Park is in news. It is situated in which of the following state? It is in Himachal Pradesh. So friends, keep on watching every day. So today's news is over. So keep watching every day to update yourself on the daily development on a regular basis.